I thought I'd just talk for just a very short while about how we understand both the partnership with TATE and Ntnu, and also just the way in which the topology project in particular relates to this. So at TATE, obviously we are a very large institution. We've got about 5 million visitors every year. Of those visitors, about half, last year nearly 60% were people who'd never been to TATE before. And we are acutely aware that as a museum of modern and contemporary art that tries to engage the public in many different ways, in particularly in terms of making people understand and know more about and actually simply enjoy modern and contemporary art more deeply. We've got a real job on our hands. You know, we've got to communicate both to people, I suppose, like you, who are real experts in contemporary culture, in visual culture, in other ways of engaging with contemporary art, but also with people who don't come all that regularly. In all of that, we also have to be acutely aware that the reason why TATE is where it is now, why we have the opportunity to work with artists from all over the world, why we are visited by so many people who want to come and see what we're doing, is really because we have a way of talking to them and communicating with them. That, I think, is really so important for us. I think when you're architects, or many of you here are architects, and I remember telling Frederick the story about the way in which we think about the museum and the public of the museum. Very often an architect thinks that an art gallery is at its peak when it's just been completed, but there's absolutely nobody in it. It's just a sculpture. The art museum as a piece, as an object. As curators, we are very often accused, and I think it's very often a fair accusation, that an exhibition or a museum looks best when all the works are installed, but there's nobody in the museum to look at them. I'm sure you've all come across this sense that quietly, either you yourself or somebody who's with you is cursing under their breath because there are too many people in a museum around you, particularly when you're in a place like TATE. I think for us now, having worked in, or having, TATE Modern now celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, it's really important that the museum and the exhibitions are really functioning at their peak when they're crowded, when they're busy, when there are people there, when the museum is inhabited. And that transition from the museum as a space for the purely quiet contemplation of an individual in the presence of a work of art to one which is just more dynamic and busier and noisier is one that we have witnessed, and that we've also been surprised by in many ways. We've really been taken by surprise by the success. Now, in many ways, that also is visible in the ways in which the museum both functions and fails to function in terms of, the let's say, convenience of access, movement through the museum, and so on. However, what really matters for us in all of this is that when we think about what we do in the museum, that we are aware that there are so many people who come and engage with the art, with the space itself of the museum, that are not necessarily all experts in art history. Not everybody is trained as an artist, although of course, as Joseph Beuys would say, everybody is an artist. And we are really trying to make possible an experience of art in this really kind of busy and crowded environment. At the same time, we're aware that we are really trying to combine a popular experience of art and the museum with in-depth research, with cutting-edge developments in contemporary art that are in many ways that are difficult. There's absolutely no beating about the bush. What we're trying to show is complex and difficult art